CM Punk has made his WWE Raw return. A major title match has been announced for next week's Raw, and MJF is injured, and we have the world title status right now in this news video. Huge debut on last night's Raw. Forget about those headlines. This is the biggest news story of the year so far. Cultaholic invades Raw, kind of.
Kind of. We didn't have a tank, sadly. That would have been quite fun to have. But
we had a human tank with a Ferrari engine. And his name is Andrew Hodgkinson.
Andrew Dingle made his Raw debut. It was quite a moment.
It was quite a moment. Fraser let me know of this morning. I was like, let me guess what Andrew said. I reckon he let out a big no. And what did he do in front of the watching world? A big old no.
It was a good moment, though. I'm happy for him.
Congratulations, Andrew. Congratulations. Right, CM Punk makes his Raw return last night. It was hyped up before the show. It happened right at the end of the show. It was the first time he was on TV with a live microphone, or the WWE TV, I should say, since 2014. What was he saying there? And he called you Andrew there, Fraser.
He came out to the ring, and it felt, for me, it felt like it was a little bit of a, hey guys, I'm being very careful with my words. But he came out, it was kind of a little bit cheesy, a bit corny, a little bit, and he said, once upon a time, an American dream taught me that as long as you speak from the heart, you can't go wrong, because it's the truth, and the truth is, I'm home.
And he also says, I've changed. 10 years is a long time. He was a bit nervous about saying I've changed, which is weird because 2 months ago he was still fighting folk. So we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like Triple H said at the weekend where he was like, 10 years is a long time. People change. You know, if you're the same person you were 10 years ago, something's gone wrong. It's 6 months down the line, and you know, there's some things we've got to work out first.
Yeah, he also was going on to say that he's home. He wanted to reiterate the fans are home for him. He said AJ Lee sends her regards, which is a nice little moment there. Yeah. He says everybody in the back, it was all hugs and kisses. Then he goes back on his words and says, well, almost everybody, which of course is hinting at a certain Sethety Poo Rollins, isn't it?
Indeed it is. And I think the bit where he was like, you know, that nobody can touch me in this ring, on the microphone, even at the commentary desk. I'm excited to see what they do with that thread, and I've seen a lot of people saying with this promo it felt a little bit like it was playing safe and that he was very hypocritical, but I think that's kind of what they're trying to get at, right? And
it's a weird one because we're trying to get cheers for CM, well, not even trying, we are getting cheers for CM Punk, but at the end of the day, after everything he said over the past 10 years, Seth Rollins is 100% right. I know it's a work, but I think it's a work based in a shoot. He's 100% right saying he's a hypocrite because he has said, like, he'll never go back there, they try to ruin his life, this, that and the other over the past 10 years.
Why would I stay in a place that made me sick in the first place? Yeah. And his digs at MJF over a year ago where he's like going main event night 4 of a buy one get one free extravaganza.
Blood money.
Exactly. So, but the key thing at the end of that promo was when he looked directly into the camera and was saying, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money, which completely contradicts the entire 5-minute promo that he just did.
That's punk rock. That's DIY.
I mean, that's like Andrew Dingle is on Raw. I think this, if this is a taste of the character we're going to get of Punk, where it's for a wee while we're going to get teases of this mask starting to fall and Seth being sort of vindicated and being like, look, I was right, everyone. I wasn't just talking into the ether and no one was listening. Punk is a hypocrite, and hopefully that's the character we get. Just get the cheers out of the way because everyone's going to cheer.
Of course they are. And it is good that he is back. Yeah. Because, you know, you think this environment in the WWE, that the stuff that happened backstage in AEW, which took away, and I think we all forget at times like how good the in-ring stuff was with CM Punk in AEW because it got overshadowed by the backstage bollocks. Hopefully that backstage bollocks can't happen in the WWE with the setup they've got there.
You would hope so. You would hope so. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
But it is an interesting character because we've had Drew McIntyre on Raw for the last 2 or 3 months now. He's been a justified arsehole. He's like, well, yeah, if you're not with me, you're an arsehole, basically, because Jey Uso ruined my big moment. Well, Jey Uso's family ruined my big moment, and that's why I've become a bit more of a dick. And you're like, fair play, Drew, I'll be the same, probably.
It's nice to have heel characters.
Layers.
Yes, they're like an onion.
Yes.
Like an ogre.
A big Scottish ogre. Seth Rollins then addressed the CM Punk chants once again over the weekend at a live event. He basically said, I'm not going to waste my breath on this guy who went away and tried to trash this company for the past 10 years. On Raw, he was getting going with his promo, obviously because of his reaction. Worky, shooty, worky, worky. Yeah. In Survivor Series at the weekend there, CM Punk chant started once again inside the arena. So Seth Rollins said,
He said, I don't want to spend one more ounce of energy on that hypocrite after allowing the fans to get all those chants out, to get it out their system. And again, it's sort of going back to the thing of the hypocrite thing where he's like, Seth is right. And I'm glad they're dropping little hints of it. So when we finally get that moment of them coming together, whether it's a promo, whether it's a run-in, whether it's an actual match, it'll feel really earned rather than like, oh, you've got to have watched this interview from 4 years ago. You'll have had to watch this. It needs to happen on WWE programming.
Big time. And I think it's a feud that doesn't need the world title for me. So it's going to be, it's that much of a blood feud. Like we thought they legitimately hated each other at the start of the year when Seth Rollins called him a cancer, when AEW was in Punk was in AEW, Rollins was obviously in WWE. So obviously if they're going to work it in, working it into a shoot. I'm working myself up, brothers. But yes, I don't think it needs the world title.
Could this be a way that CM Punk maybe costs Seth the world title?
And gives it to Priest.
And Priest manages to capitalize, which gives Seth even more hatred for him and sort of sparks that. We've got a few months till the Royal Rumble. They've got a lot of time to build it. I'm optimistic though. I'm so excited Punk's back.
Yeah, and speaking of that world title, Seth Rollins has nailed down the plans for that thing next week. He's going to be taking on Jey Uso. There's a promo on last night's Raw. Drew McIntyre comes out and confronts Seth Rollins. He basically says, what's the plans for the title? And then basically Seth Rollins says, Drew, you don't quite deserve a title shot yet. I'm going to give it to someone who does deserve it. And the way that line was set up with Jey Uso's reveal was wonderfully well done, because you're thinking the last person Drew wants to hear is Jey Uso. Yeah. And then Seth Rollins said Jey Uso. So what did Drew do? He knocked him out.
Yeah, and he headbutted him so badly his forehead bled.
He nutted him so badly his kilt fell off.
Right.
And he had his little box, like Shawn Michaels late 90s socks down the front boxes on.
It was very, very 90s, with a leather jacket as well. It was quite a look from Drew McIntyre. As you said, it was the last person that Drew wanted to hear, but Jey Uso getting a world title push, even if it is just next week on Raw, I think it's a taste of what's to come for Jey.
It could be that, but that could be where the cash-in happens.
Could be.
I don't know why. I always think of Sheamus back in... I know that was on a premium live event back in the day, but, winter time, cash-ins can happen in winter as well.
They do. We've had Daniel Bryan.
They're not just for spring or summer.
The Miz, he was in a November time.
Sheamus is one as well.
Sheamus. There's lots of potential there. I think as well, if you've got the ties with Judgment Day from Drew McIntyre, there is a little bit more chance that, maybe this is where the cash-in happens and chuck CM Punk in
Priest takes it off Rollins, and then because they were so sexually tense with each other at Survivor Series, Drew faces Priest. It all writes itself.
There you go. And then
they looked at each other for way too long.
It was the sort of the stare and the stick to the plan.
Yeah.
It'll be a very fun feud, and that allows Drew to keep the tweener line that he's been going.
Yeah, but as for next week on Raw, Drew McIntyre will take on Sami Zayn. That comes from a few weeks ago and last night on Raw as well. So that will be a barn burner, no doubt, as well. The first Royal Rumble entrant has been announced in the Men's Rumble match, and you'll never guess who it is. It's the guy who likes writing stories but not quite finishing them. But he hopes to finish one in 2024 to Cody Rhodes.
It's Cody Rhodes, indeed. He's the first entrant in the Royal Rumble this year. He obviously entered number 30 last year in the Rumble, managed to win it. I feel like this year he's going to start the Rumble number 1 and try and go the distance.
I hope not. That feels a bit too telegraphed to me.
He's not going to win it though, is he?
Do you not think?
No.
How's he getting to WrestleMania?
Elimination Chamber. Because then you've got to have him. It'd be like, okay, the story's not happening this year. It's not happening. But I think, with him in the Rumble, I think it's smart to have Cody in there and announce he's going to be there. Of course he's going to be in the Rumble. But that wasn't the biggest thing coming out the segment, I would say.
No, what happened next was very, very shocking indeed. Not quite as shocking as CM Punk coming back to the WWE, but quite shocking all the same, because as we all know, Shinsuke Nakamura has been calling out a mystery man for many weeks now, waiting for that mystery man to come to the wrestling, waiting for that mystery man to arrive on Raw and so they can do the fighting and whatnot. But it turns out the man he was talking about wasn't CM Punk that many sort of, hoped rather than expected, but it was actually Cody, who's been there the entire time.
Every single week. And on SmackDown. He's on quite a lot of shows as Cody Rhodes. He's kind of their top star.
I guess this fits what Nakamura was doing, because during the feud with Seth Rollins for the world title, he was like, I'll do things on my time, and he was waiting. Like, he had a world title match just given to him on a plate 1 week on Raw, and he said, no, I want to do things on my time. So I guess it sort of fits that narrative, but it wasn't the answer I don't think anyone was expecting.
No, and the fact that we've had reports previously saying, they're keeping it very closely guarded who Nakamura's opponent is and who the vignettes are teasing, and some people going, it could be someone new, it could be someone from Japan, it could be a complete call-up from NXT, it could be a debut. Cody was the last person that I think anyone sort of expected, and Is it the best use of the two of them at the moment going into Rumble season?
Maybe, because it feels like Cody's been spinning his wheels for a little bit now. So if this is going to be a juicy feud for a month or so, 6 weeks, something like that, I'm fully on board with it.
It might stop the Cody and Friend versus Judgment Day main events of Raw.
Oh, goodness me.
Which we've had quite a lot of.
Yeah, we have had quite a lot of them. We have the update on the AEW World Title now. Obviously, MJF tweeted and then deleted the said tweet, or the X, whatever you want to call it now, that he was injured, basically.
Yes, he tweeted that the MRI results showed that he has a torn labrum in his left shoulder, which is stemmed from his match at AEW Full Gear. This was supposedly from the top rope Uranagi spot. This was according to Fightful Select, which I think anyone that was watching it could see that he got a very rough landing on the side of his shoulder. Dave Meltzer, though, added that right now the planned treatment is rehab and then stem cell treatment rather than surgery. MJF did declare on X that despite the injury, he would remain as AEW World Champion and defend it at World's End. He's scheduled to face Samoa at the pay-per-view. Is it smart that he's going to work through the injury? They kind of need him on TV because he's a big draw for them, but it might really harm him going forward if it gets worse.
I thought maybe it's a case of smoke and mirrors ever so slightly. I'm not going to say it's a complete load of bollocks, but maybe it's a little bit, just the fact that World's End is relatively close to us. Maybe he is banged up a bit after that match when he was doing the elbow drop to the floor, and the cutter to the floor. Yeah. So maybe he is banged up, but not quite as bad as they've let on in public. Maybe that's just me spitballing bollocks. Probably.
No, I think you might be spot on there, but it's also probably a worrying thing for AEW having your world champion get an injury so close to the end of the year, so close to the very pivotal story of the bidding war of 2024.
Yeah.
And it might not happen if there's a really bad injury, but hopefully he'll get better.
Yes, and we've done the AEW All-In pre-sale yesterday, and guess who was not on the poster? MJF, yes.
I was going to say CM Punk, but MJF.
Yeah, Punk wasn't there either, and neither was Hulk Hogan. But there we go. That's it for News Video 1. Come back later for News Video 2. I've been Ross, joined by Frazier, and we'll see you later. Fancy that.